Hello, it's Tim Estradal, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Tonight is Monday night, so we're doing a live stream. I got a little glass of whiskey here with me and a little bit of Crown with some diet, so we're going to enjoy that. When I talk about trucks, I don't know if this live streaming room is working yet. It's a new feature from YouTube, so I'm trying it out. Tonight's topic is, what truck thing do you want? New engine, transmission, a new feature? What are you seeing out there? What do you guys want? I'm a little bit... not so fired up tonight, but I'm going to do my best. Hello, Johnny5. Hey, Juan. How you guys doing? So we will go through this as best we can. Hopefully you guys can see me well. There is some buffering news that's problematic, so let me know if you're seeing this live stream well. If you are not, I can do a different way to do it, but I don't know. It was kind of weird to set up. It was kind of a weird situation, so I don't know. We'll see if we're doing well or not. So what feature do you want? We'll talk about some truck news. There's not much going on these days. I did do some big news last week. We have the the Chevy Silverado diesel fuel economy. We have the 33 mile per gallon. That's outstanding. That engine's really good. It's kind of crazy how good it is. What else do we have last week? I had a bunch of videos. I put out like 8 videos last week. I felt like I did a lot of videos. You want a compact all-wheel drive V6 twin turbo truck. Huh. I can see you just fine. So hey, Johnny5 can see me just fine. That's all that matters. Johnny5's probably sporting his hat. So let's see. The channel's doing great. Like I said, I don't have. It's kind of what it is right now. Is it's the doldrums of July. So during July, the auto industry kind of slows down. GM plants closed down a couple weeks. Chrysler slows down production. I think they do. Ford usually has a week off. But anyways, the auto reps go out of town. They had to take family vacations. I mean, there's just not a lot going on. A lot of energy in July. August, things get fired back up. So there's usually this doldrum period. There's the same doldrum period between now and July, through July, that there is after Christmas. After Christmas to like the first year is boring. It used to be first year you get to Detroit Auto Show, but this year, it could wait till January. Could be dead. It could be really dead till February. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Oh, I just had that loaded up and then I closed it. Why am I closing that tab? It's weird they have black bars on a screen. Yeah, it should be the OBS software. It allows me to do some little black bars, put myself in it, put my logo on there. It's a cool system there, Juan. I can put images on the screen, which is what I like about it. Is if we talk about something, I can find the image, I can download it, I can throw it on the screen, we can all talk about it together. And so usually that's how things work. 67 Sport Wagon says dog days of summer. It is. It is definitely that time period. And so it's going to be interesting. Hey, Elliot, it's going to be interesting to see news comes out. I mean, we got Elon Musk saying that his new pickup be out here in 2 to 3 months. Sure. You know, I don't see it. What did I do? So I'm looking back last week. Nissan Murano went out. Honda Passport went out. I have 2 cars I have to do, which is, this is really the dog days of summer. I have a Lexus ES350 and I have a VW GLI. I'm gonna put them on the channel. Let you guys know if you guys like them or not. They sent them to me, so I was like, I'll do a video on them. Whatever. I don't really care. I did the Dodge Dakota or Ram Dakota coming back. Oh, we had what the hell is this? That's that 2021 Ford Bronco looking weird thing. We had the fuel economy for the Chevy. I had that lawsuit with the Ford trucks, which is a funny story. The law firm actually bought some ads from me on the website. So, go to the website. It says Ford lied to you. They paid me for the ads, and to me that's editorial. And then there's advertising. So, you know, it doesn't impact my view of Ford. It's just they bought the ads, so that's fine. We had 5 good things and bad things about the 2019 Chevy Colorado. And then, yeah, we did the live stream last week, so that kind of wraps up the week. We also know that we are going to hear someone wants a diesel Tundra. That's going to... I was thinking diesel engine, manual transmission. I was thinking there's going to be something, those 2 key things. Suzuki Jimmy. Dale says Suzuki Jimmy North America. Please do this Suzuki or Toyota GM. Yeah, the Suzuki Jimmy's badass. I kind of was thinking that Ford Bronco like adventurer is kind of the Suzuki Jimmy of North America. So yeah. Juan says, think that's BS about Tesla pickup. I do as well. Johnny's touting the hats. I got tons of hats. I got nobody's. I bought another 10 of them. Nobody bought anything. So you guys need to place an order for these hats. I need to get rid of these things. Yeah. Nothing on the State Fair of Texas. Way too early for that. Speculation. We can make a ton of speculation. I want to say lots of stuff with Nissan, but Nissan. Did you guys catch the news on Nissan this week? And I was thinking about doing a video, and I was kind of back and forth on it because it doesn't really pertain to the U.S., but Nissan lost year-over-year core profit was down 99%. 99%. They're going to lay off like 12,000 people in Europe. I think the factories in Europe. I want to say Spain, if I read that right. Anyways, they're going to slim down the product offerings. They're going to get rid of some sedan offerings. They're going to get rid of the different options. They're going to make it very basic offerings. So you're going to slash trim levels and just have slash some sedans. But 12,000 people are getting laid off. And there's no news whether that impacts the U.S. at all. But I feel that my PR friends with Nissan are, wow, 99% profit loss. That's huge. The day when we finally see a new Toyota Tundra 2021, I think we're all going to be crying how long we've been waiting just to see it. Junior Manuel says, yeah, that's going to be, here's my theory on this. This is my theory, is that when the new Tundra gets unveiled in Chicago of next year, it's going to be a big letdown. that's my theory. That's my theory. I just feel like every time a Tundra comes out, people are upset about them not doing more with it. So that's my guess. And then my guess is that the Tundra, when it comes out, will be a big letdown for fans. They're going to hate it, right? And then you look at sales results, and people are going to buy it like crazy. It's a weird anomaly in the marketplace, the way the Tundra sells. It's just weird. If you break a taillight in Tesla, you have to wait 5 years for replacement. Jeez. Yeah, all the stuff that TFL's gone through with their Tesla. I feel sorry for them. Any update from Toyota Trucks lease dates? Oh, that's the new Tundra will be August, September of 2021. I'm sure I'll be on the press event. Yeah, I'll be at the show, I think, and I'll be at the press event. The biggest, I say I think because every year Nissan sponsors a bunch of journalists go to the show, Chicago Auto Show. And with profits being down 99%, it makes you wonder if they're going to still offer that. Makes me wonder. Toyota does something as well, so, be one of those things. I could go to Toyota as well. Toyota just stays at a hotel that's farther away. Kind of more of a pain in the ass. How are profits down for Nissan if they sell so many Rogues? Sedans. And, there was a discussion we had today, or I've had today. Gosh, not today, this weekend. This weekend went by a blur. But there was discussion about whether or not automakers can make money on a small, compact pickup. And I believe that Nissan's profit news, and based on talking about the Rogue here, is I believe they don't make very much money on small, compact SUVs. Like they wouldn't make very much money on a small, compact pickup, like a Nissan Hardbody again. And that's driving down profits. So if you're talking profits, that Nissan Rogue doesn't make a lot of money. Revenue, it sells, but base model, I think they're making $3,000-$4,000 each one they sell. I mean, I don't think it's very much at all. And so I think they need to sell more trucks, which they haven't done a good job on as far as sales results, and that's causing them a lot of profit loss. Plus, sedans, nobody's buying sedans, and if you do, you're not buying the high trim level of them, and that the higher trim level is the one that actually makes a profit. So the rest of them is just like volume. It's like Toyota makes money on the Camry because it sells so many of them. If they didn't sell as many Camrys, they would be in trouble. Toyota would be big time trouble globally because they don't have the volume is what creates the profits. Nissan's case, sedan sales are down. The new guy in there, I'm not going to butcher his name, decided not to chase volume with rental car sales, things like that, and instead change strategy to create more profit. And that's going to take a long time to come around because Nissan's used to selling a lot of volume to make up for profit. And so it's just a different business model. I bet the new 2021 Tundra will be delayed 2022. Repeat year after year. No, it won't be delayed, but it'll be a letdown. It's gonna be a letdown. It's my feeling on this. My feeling is it's gonna be a letdown. Maybe it won't be, but it's my feeling. Is GM gonna build a Wrangler competitor or a new cute Ute off-roader? No, the tracker's coming back, but it's for global markets only, and it's a damn shame. No. I think they should build a Wrangler competitor. I think GM's missing the boat on that. But remember that when when Hummer closed or Hummer left, Hummer closed, right? Hummer went out of business. GM lost a bunch of off-road knowledge. When they redid the ZR2, they had to teach their team of engineers what real off-roading's like. They took them to Rubicon. They went, did the different trails. They really learned a lot about off-roading because they had lost a lot of talent. In the ZR2 kind of team, there's one guy that had experience from Hummer. That's it. So they lost a lot of institutional knowledge when Hummer closed, and they don't have the engineering guys in there to really have that knowledge to build it up. That's where the Wrangler has done so well over the years. Jeep has had off-road guys who know off-roading who's been able to keep that brand going really strong. And you're seeing that now. Jeep's got leadership and off-road credibility. It's really the engineers who understand off-roading. Chevy doesn't understand it as well. Ford understands it pretty decent because the Raptor, has really helped them in that space, and those guys understand that. And I think I think it's the biggest question of the Bronco is how much engineering talent and understanding of off-roading does Ford really have to apply to the Bronco? That's the big question everybody's going to ask is when that comes out. It's easy to throw lockers on stuff, to throw lifts on stuff, to throw tires on it, throw the four-wheel drive system on it. That's easy to do. But to get all those systems to work right and build it for something that's really capable and understand that marketplace, that's really hard to do. And so I think there's going to be some questions there with Ford doing that. I don't think GM has the talent right now to build a Wrangler competitor. I know it sounds crazy, guys. I know it absolutely sounds bonkers for me to say that. But when you talk to the team and you talk to the Colorado ZR2 team, they don't have that knowledge base. There's one guy with Chevy and the Colorado ZR2, and I have him on video. The video I did in Texas. Can't remember the guy's name. Anyways, he is like him and another guy are basically the two guys in Chevy engineering that really understand off-road. Because and you got to understand here, Chevy truck team, you and especially truck world, you got towing, you got hauling, you got hauling a family, you got off-roading. You have a bunch of different pieces this vehicle's got to do. It's not like a sedan. Sedan's got to haul people and drive on the highway. It's a whole different animal there. And so they've had a talent loss, and it's really hurt GM over the years. When the shutdown happens, when they get bailed out, when they lay off white-collar employees like they just went through this last December, you start losing a lot of talent in the organization, and it's hard to make that up, especially a lot of the experience. And with anything, I've been doing this job for, 10 years now. And so, I think my experience helps me a lot to do this job because I've done it for so long, and I understand the marketplace for so long. When you're doing that same idea and you apply that to trucks, you got a lot of wet behind the ears, new engineers coming in who maybe they did as a kid, or maybe they have some knowledge, but if they don't have that knowledge built up from experience, you're going to see a lot of issues going forward as far as developing new products. I think the higher ups at GM would love to see that happen. They'd love to see a Wrangler competitor, love to see off-road credibility, love to see a lot more of that stuff happen. But you don't have the engineering background there to make that happen. I think that's really hurting Chevy right now. And I can see it. I can talk to the guys, and if you go to Ford guys, a lot of those Ford guys they're older. They've been in the business for a long time. A lot of the Chevy engineers are younger. I think that's one thing that you'll notice in my videos is the more I do these videos with engineers, pay attention to how old they are. Not saying ageism here. I'm not suggesting ageism at all. But pay attention to how old they are and how young they are, because there's some interesting differences between the companies on how much experience their engineers have and how much experience the marketers have, how much experience that has, and that really does impact organizations. We think of GM as being like this multi-billion-dollar company with 9,000 people working in, engineering. And the reality is when they make a decision, it's 5 guys, 3 guys, 2 guys, 1 guy making a decision. In this case, Mark Royce makes the overall decision. But I mean, it's not like it's all these guys working together. It's the majority of employees with manufacturing, with companies is manufacturing. So the majority of GM employees are the line workers and the guys in the plants. The white collar guys, percentage wise, there's not that many of them, and so you don't get that many guys in that situation, and so you don't have that knowledge. Okay, I feel like I went off on a rant there, and that ate up a good 10 minutes. MJC says the purchase of New Frontier equally equipped Tacoma with $7,500 more. Good choice. I love the Frontier. Frontier is old. It's antiquated. There's no argument there. But you get a lot of value in that truck, and when you break it down, the what it has is really good value, and it offers a lot of features. And for those guys who don't want all the fancy buttons and knobs, it's a perfect truck. I've written about it a few times. I really enjoy that truck. Junior Man says, I hope you're wrong in praying. The Supra came out, the mid-engine Corvette, and the Tundra. Now I'm waiting 5 years to see this new truck. Feels like a decade. Please, Toto, don't let us down. So how do you guys feel about the Supra now with the mid-engine Corvette coming out? Because the Supra seems like a letdown now. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff very much at all. The press fleet manager was going to send me this VW, and he said, do you want the GLI? And I was like, I don't know what that is. And he got all mad at me, and I was like, buddy, I deal with trucks and SUVs. I have no idea what the GLI is. I have no idea. It's a 4-door sedan. It's fun. It's got a 6-speed transmission. It's fun, but I have no idea what that is. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I don't really follow the car business very much at all because it's pickup truck plus SUV talk. It's pretty simple what I cover. People are sitting around the campfire talking about how great the next new Tundra is going to be. When they see it'll be cardiac arrest, better have ambulances on site. Toyota has just fundamentally over the years let me down on things. I mean, it's not that they're letting me down. It's that Toyota's viewpoint on this and the way they design products and the way they understand this it's not revolutionary to the marketplace. And so it really creates some concerns. Yeah. What did you think about Supra? I don't know. The Supra is BMW. That's what my friends say. They say it's a BMW knockoff. They sell 100,000 and make 3 to 4 grand each. That's a pretty good lick. No, not really, Johnny 5. No, when you figure out manufacturing costs, you figure out payroll costs, you figure out the overhead for a factory. There was a thing that said, I forget how much it was per car to make a profit, and I think it's more than 3,000 to 4,000. Did you hear about the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer coming? Yes, I have. There's a video on the channel where I talk about it. It's about what I think it is there's a new plant going in Detroit, and when that plant gets built, it should hold the new 3-row or large side Grand Wagoneer. Jeep or FCA reps or whatever, they've been talking a lot about that off record. They've been talking, well, off record, a little bit on record too. They want a big 3-row full-size SUV. They want one, and they know one's coming. They're just, it's a issue of capacity, and so they have that new thing with the Detroit plant going in. Once they break ground in that plant in Detroit and have the capacity to build it, you will see a new Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and I think it's going to be 3-row. I think they're going to build a 3-row variant of it. It's what Jeep's been telling me. It's what FCA reps been telling me. They really want a 3-row SUV. They want something big. And I understand this, right? So the Tahoe, the Yukon, Escalade have been dominating this marketplace. And if you tell me that a full-size, talking about Toyota, so let's talk about Toyota here. If you saw a full-size Toyota Tundra Platinum or a full-size Chevy Silverado with the High Country trim is a profit generator, then you better damn well be sure that a Yukon Denali is a profit generator. That a Chevy Yukon or Chevy Tahoe RST is a profit generator. Cadillac Escalade, they make money on that, right? So if that market has been dominated for so many years with Chevy products, why wouldn't you make a competitor? You got to know that Ford's loving it right now. The Expedition is selling, Lincoln Navigator is selling. They're gonna be like, oh my god, awesome! We're gonna make this money again that we're not making anymore in the Ford Ranger. We can make now with these big 3-row SUVs. And so I don't understand it. When you talk to auto journalists, we talk about electric cars and Supras and mid-engine Corvettes and that kind of stuff. When you talk to consumers about cars, they talk about Tahoes and Silverados and F-150s and Escalades. That's what consumers are buying. That's the disconnect between consumers and auto journalists, which just drives me up a wall. But that's the disconnect. And so, if consumers are buying these big 3-row SUVs because gas prices are low or whatever the deal, whatever argument we'll make on that, and I don't buy the gas price low thing. I understand it, but I don't buy it, and I'll get that in a second. But if you're talking about these big 3-row SUVs that are selling like hotcakes, I think it was the Tahoe or the Yukon or whatever, they sold more like last year than they've ever sold. I mean, the things every month it's like 10% up, 15% up, 20% up. And so it's like these things are selling like crazy. Why aren't more manufacturers doing that? I go to my Chevy rep who's out of California. I pick it on the guy all the time. He's a great guy. Shad Balch, great guy. Him and I joke all the time. He's always about the Corvettes. He loves Corvettes. I get it. He's in West Hollywood. He'd love Corvette. Jay Leno's down the street. Understand that. And I'm like, dude, let's take a Tahoe up to Montana and do some fishing. Let's take a Yukon to South Dakota and do some golfing. Let's do these road trips with these vehicles because that's what consumers are doing with these. And I'm sorry, but I think that a Yukon XL Denali has more profit than the mid-engine Corvette. And so if you want to really move the bottom line for GM and for profit, I want to see more stories on the Tahoe and Yukons than I do the Corvettes. That's what I want to see because I think consumers are doing that. I think consumers are tired of being plugged in all the time. They're tired of Facebook all the time. They want to unplug and go out in nature and go camping for the weekend. I think that's where customers want to be. That's where I want to be. And so I think that's where the marketplace is going. And I think that's where the bottom line's going. That's where the profit's going. And so I'm like, let's do that. Because I can do that story. It's relatable. People understand it. But if I said, let's take a mid-engine Corvette to Road America in Wisconsin and drive the track, okay, what percentage of the consumers are able to do that? Low. What percentage of consumers are going to go camping in South Dakota with the Tahoe? High. That's my argument. Been making the argument for a while. That's my argument. All right. The spy shots are showing camouflage trucks running around with just the front and back of the truck. The cab is still in the same. Yeah, I've ran a few of those stories. I was wrong on one of them, but that's all right. I don't know. It's interesting on the Tundra. Juan is still talking Tundra. I'm a little behind. Sorry, I have a few rants tonight. I'm not in the greatest moods. I had a situation happen that's... Well, anyways. All the prep work and they still fail the ZR2. I don't know. The ZR2 is pretty badass. I like the ZR2. 2018 Toyota Camry. If you're right about 2021 Toyota Tundra, I'm good. Try and look and see if you can get a 2020 TRD Tundra. Oh, I should be able to get a 2020. I'll get a 2020. What is it? July? Yeah. So another August, September probably I'll get a 2020. I'll get the new Tundra. What's the specs in a 7.3 gasser Ford HD Z12 EZ asks? Where is the spec? That is a great question. Where are they? Where are they, Ford? The hell? I theorize that Ford saw Ram's numbers and Chevy's numbers on max towing and Ram's numbers on torque, and they pulled it back. There was rumors going to be in Detroit this year, and never happened. And so I think they pulled it back, and they're going to do it in fourth quarter of this year. Fourth quarter is supposed to be going live, so it means the LA Auto Show or a separate event. Sometimes they fly people into their own Ford field there in Detroit, do a separate event. I think they're going to do it there, but I think those engineers are right now scrambling to get a little bit more torque, a little more towing. Ford has to be number one. That's their drive. Nothing good or bad with that, but yeah, that's the specs. That's where the specs are at. I think they're tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it to get the most they can out of it. I cannot lie, Johnny5 says, I would pick a Colorado over the original effect from Real Truck. Jesus Christ. Is the mid-size Corvette going to save Chevy and GM? Yeah, I don't think so. Chevy did a hell of a job in the ZR2. Cheers to them. They can build on that success. They could make the SUV version of its ZR2 removable roof panels. Yes. Dale, what I theorize is they should make a ZR2 Silverado. Take the stuff from the Colorado and put it in Silverado. Blah, blah, blah. I haven't drank that much. I think that's what they need to do. C8's already is almost sold out for first year. Yeah, and that's just ridiculous, right? You think Ford going to come out with all new electric 2021 or a hybrid Mustang? I hope. Dear Lord, I hope not. We can all agree the Ridgeline is for soccer dads. It's not a bad truck. You think about new Chevy Blazer, you think it will sell. It's interesting. I was in the clubhouse of the golf course, and the one drove up, and the kid, he's 20 years younger than I am, looked at it and said, man, I love that SUV. I said, oh, that's new Blazer. And he goes, oh, really? And I said, yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that. And so I explained to him the controversy about using a Blazer name and that stuff. And so I tee off, and I play my 18, and I come back, and I drop the cart off, look over, and he's leaving for the day, and he's walking, and he hops in his Camaro and takes off. And I told him earlier on in the clubhouse that Blazer is looks like a Camaro. It's based on the same look. Well, no wonder you liked it. He drove a damn Camaro away from the golf course. I mean, it's the same damn thing, just Camaro SUV. So I was like, well, maybe they should make a C8 Corvette SUV. I've seen that. Motor One's got some photos in that. I don't know, guys. It's a weird world. I think the Blazer is selling because I think people like the look of it. I have never driven one, and there's supposed to be one in the press fleet. I theorize that Chevy's holding it off from giving it to me because they realize I'm going to be a little more picky on it because it's got the Blazer name on it. When will Chevy fix transmission issues in the 2019 Chevy Silverado? Transmission issues? I haven't heard anything about that. Send me an email at tim@pickuptrucktalk.com. Is there a recall? Is there? I guess I'm lost on that. I haven't seen any issues. LOL. Asking a Ridgeline owner. I bet they had a minivan prior. Is the Camaro really coming to an end? I was talking with my friend Manny. Manny broke the story. Manny Katakis. We were at the FCA event, and I sat down with him and talked to him a little bit about that. And yeah, he truly believes from inside sources that Camaro is coming to an end. That's what I sat next to the guy. I talked to him for a while. He said the only problem with his story was that GM got all pissed at him, and they should have, but he needs GM not to be nice to him. He's got a new site. Is it Muscle Cars and Trucks, or Muscle Cars and Pickup Trucks, something like that. .com. So does China own a part of GM since they bailed them out with $50 billion? That is a good question. I don't think they own a part of them. There's a lot of Chinese investors, though. So that's an interesting question. I don't know. Huh. Well, I mean, you could make the same theory. Does China own a part of us? Because there's so many investors that invest in the U.S. and they buy our debt, basically. The enthusiast community hated the Supra the second they found out Toyota teamed with BMW to make it. Yeah. It's not true Supra, they say. Yeah, I know. I hear that stuff too. But the same thing of the Toyota 86 and the Scion FRS, which I drove, and a Subaru BRZ. I mean, same idea. So why not? Why not just use some other manufacturers' collaboration and save some money? Makes good business sense to me. So that means Chevy is a Chinese-owned company that manufactures in Canada and assembled in Mexico. Oh, wow. This is getting deep. Prefer the 2019 Honda Accord Touring than the Camry. Oh. I think that's funny. He got mad at you the way you said that. Yeah. Where's 7.3 liter Ford? It's Who knows? It's supposed to come out this fall. Here's the thing for you, HTZ. Yeah, the 7.3 gasser for the 2020 Super Duty. Here's the thing for you, HTZ. A certain birdie at an event, a competitor event, told me to look at the specs of the 7.3, all the information on it, and compare it to the 6.0 Chevy engine. And he said, I think you'll find that it's very comparable. The difference is that the 7.3 is not direct injected, and direct injection counts for like 0.8 liters. Or 1.3 liters, something like that. He said basically if it was direct injected, it'd be the same displacement as the Chevy engine of old. I think it's interesting. I haven't looked at the specs yet. There's no really specs out yet. I'm gonna wait till it comes out. He has some inside information, but yeah. People running around complaining about racing to point the gym for correction. Jeez. Yeah. No, the 20. Oh, jeez. 7.3 liter gas is for the new Ford engine. It's a new engine for them. And that's, the diesel was prior generation. No, there is a new 7.3. Hossman says, Tundra manual transmission. Pipe dream. I've been driving around a manual for a couple days now, this VW GLI thing, and I tell you what, I'll get some hate mail over this. I have my 62. That's a four on the floor. The 4 on the floor. But I'm okay with manuals for a while. This one's getting to me. This one I'm getting tired of. I walked 15 holes today, something like that. My fat ass got tired. All right. I put Motor One article on the Corvette group and asked if they would buy it. 80% said no, and 20% said if Lambo and Porsche did it, Corvette could do it. If people online still wanted the cars to be around, there'd be a lot different on dealers' lots than they are currently today. Thank you so much for answering all my questions. Love your YouTube channel. I learned a lot from it. Best truck channel with the facts. Hey, thanks, Junior. I'm always trying to answer questions the best I can. I mean, I may be right, maybe wrong. I don't know. It's what I got. Maverick Cruz says, I want the Bronco with a V8 folding windshield removable doors and a soft top. Wow. Better go buy a 72. I don't know if you're going to find one. Hey, would you guys do me a favor? Click that like button to show that this is a good video to YouTube. I think you may have go old school there, Maverick. I don't know the new one's going to have that variety. It won't have a V8. I think it's going to EcoBoost all the way. But it would be cool to have folding windshield and removable doors and soft top. That'd be cool. I really want to get a Gladiator and do that to it. And I'm close. I'm like 500 people, subs and fans and followers away from being authorized to drive FCA products. I'm kind of at that point. The Subaru Toyota team up was different. Both are Asian brands. Wasn't that big of a deal. BMW Toyota couldn't be any different. Yeah. All right, I'll give you that one. So waiting for my Ford check to arrive for my 2019 Ranger, 17.7 mile per gallon. Tell you what, that law firm is pretty adamant about getting your money. They actually have another lawsuit. I'll be doing it this week. I have a story this week going out and that. It's kind of interesting. Sorry, Maverick, you're not getting a V8 Bronco. You get 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 3.5, but it's not gonna be V8. I think the GM 6.6 is going to be. Oh, hey, Sean. Sorry, I saw that comment. What's going on, buddy? I think the GM 6.6 is going to be a huge success. It's awesome for 60% of customers. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good engine. I don't have any concerns with it. I think it was really interesting that the Chevy engineer talked about reliability, that they had a good reliability 6.0, and now they think they have the same with 6.6. People were discussing reliability on that video, and I'm thinking, well, if the 6.0 had good reliability, which I didn't have anything wrong with that, I never saw any bad news on that. Why wouldn't the 6.6? It's going to be just not that different. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Fuel economy is, I think, going to be mid-teens, high teens, empty, 8, 9, unloaded down. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be worse fuel economy loaded down than a diesel, but it'll be better fuel economy when it's unloaded driving around. Maybe. Doesn't sound right now. That roll off my tongue. But I think it's a good engine. I mean, when you factor in the diesel oil changes, all that kind of stuff going diesel. Any word on a new Suburban 3/4 ton? Ooh. There's been off and on rumors about that, Benito, and the reason why it's based on a CAFE. So if you do 3/4 ton, you don't have to deal with the CAFE requirements. And I know that they built a 3/4 ton for a while to get away from CAFE, because 3/4 ton and 1 ton don't count against your corporate average fuel economy. And so I think it's interesting they could do that. I think it'd be smart to do that, but they haven't shown they're going to do it yet. Car enthusiasts ignore the fact that car companies are businesses. It's called Ford Motor Company for a reason. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true, and I think the biggest surprise for me in this business is when you go to these events, talk to these people that work for like Chevy and Ford and Ram or Dodge, whatever you want to call them. It's crazy how non-enthusiast they are. I mean, here you go. There are enthusiasts at these companies, but the people that make all the decision makers are the bean counters. They are not as enthusiasts as you would imagine. There's a few people that stand out. Mark Royce stands out because of his car, because he loves sports cars. Akio stands out with Toyota because he loves his sports car racing. But it's very rare to have a guy in the business who's an enthusiast and also a bean counter. Not really. Mike Manley doesn't really stand out that much. Jim, he just went to Jeep and he was with Ram for a long time. He stands out for being an enthusiast. And so, it's hard to find those enthusiasts in the business who are car enthusiasts and also work in the business, because it seems like this business just spits you out and you don't have that same attachment. And so it's interesting, like I went to Toyota's technical center and I'd met the Tacoma guys. And the Tacoma guys are really there's 3 engineers doing the entire program, after it launched. So they build up a lot towards launch, and then when launch goes away, the nucleus of guys the group of guys who help with launch, they go away. They keep a nucleus of 2 or 3 guys who just do updates to it and make sure that customers are taken care of, make sure that any new product problems come up, they're going to address those. So they have this really small group, and I said to these guys, they were in khakis and polos, whatever, in the office building, and I'm like, your fans think you should be standing in dirt right now with jeans on and t-shirts, but they're in a cubicle in it's in Michigan. It's nearby Ann Arbor, and they're in this cubicle, and it's that's the disconnect. You think Corvette guys are on the track all day? That's all they do. Well, no, they run a business too. They have emails, presentations. They get discussed. I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and I think it's a big disconnect with consumers and how they understand that stuff. There's people that work at GM and Ford and Ram and FCA and all these companies that don't like cars. It happens. It's just it's you're getting the best talent you can, you're hiring the best you can, but it doesn't matter if they like cars or not. If they're good business people, well, they're good business people. Johnny 5. More money made on the new Camaro AK Blazer than the old one. Yeah. Yeah. You could make that. You could make that argument. You better get a used 2020 Tundra or lease a brand new 2020 Tundra and pay it off in time. It's always better to buy used, but where's the fun in that? Ford loves making the Shelby Mustang for their fans and for the money. Shelby loves making the Ford products. Ford loves the idea they get additional advertising off of it. People are actually getting money for suing on fuel economy ratings. You know, that's interesting. I've heard that kind of a few times, Elliot, and that's not the story. The story is that Ford engineers screwed up. Ford engineers didn't calculate the road load calculations correctly, and then they called foul on themselves, which is huge. And the EPA is involved. It's a federal probe lawsuit. It's a huge deal, guys. I can't overestimate how big this is. And it's not about customers. It's about Ford engineers saying, we screwed up. We take ownership of this. EPA needs to come here and investigate because Ford messed up. Wow. So Ford has based their entire marketing campaign on how good the EcoBoost sale numbers are on fuel economy. They've had entire campaigns. I've been in Detroit for the show. Big walls, EcoBoost, right? So what if I told you all those numbers are BS? That the EcoBoost actually gets worse fuel economy than a natural aspirated engine? Well, think about it. So if you look at that news story I wrote, it's from 17. It's from. It's not city so much highway. It's from 26 to 22 mile per gallon. Because of bad math by the engineers. Not consumers, engineers. So bad math from engineers. You know what that sounds like? It sounds like VW when they put the cheat devices on their truck, the cars, to beat the EPA. It sounds a lot like that. This is a huge issue for Ford. And I got to tell you what, I'm surprised that more people aren't picking up on this. It's not about consumers. It's totally about Ford made a huge mistake. You're talking 4 mile per gallon. Do you know how hard it is to get 1 mile per gallon improvements? 1 mile per gallon means you drop the weight, you make it more aerodynamic, you put on all sorts of stuff to get 1 more mile per gallon. That's a lot of work to get that 1 mile per gallon. And now you're talking 4. 4. I honestly think that Ford's in trouble on this one. This is a huge issue, and I think it's going to be a lot of payback to consumers. And I really wonder if they're going to change their advertising campaign, and I wonder if consumers are going to start flipping from EcoBoost back to 5.0 liter Coyotes because of the fuel economy differences. Huge. It's huge. Is BMW sailing or struggling with sales? I would say struggling. They keep developing bigger SUVs because sedan sales are in the tank. I think I don't know much about BMW. I know I drive them. I don't really care for the SUVs, but yeah, it's interesting how much difference they are doing with their sales, and sedan sales aren't doing well. So I would say struggling. That's a problem with car companies. Money guys don't like spending money. Car guys love spending money. Yeah, they do. The problem with car guys is the money they spend on car parts is not the same what they tell their wife they spend on car parts. It's a problem. John Davis from Motor Week. I've John Davis. So should I go to Facebook? I can go to Facebook. I'll find him on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. All right, John Davis. Should have my phone. Where my phone's at? Probably charging. I killed it today, battery wise. John Davis. I don't know him offhand. 37. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I have been at events with him. I think I'm friends with him. Am I friends with him? Let's see. Are we Facebook buddies? Friend request sent. And he didn't respond, so he said, no, I don't know that guy. So I cancel request. Yeah. I've actually seen Motor Week. I should say that. I have seen Motor Week. I've been at events with that guy. I've been like between me and a shoulder width away, and I haven't talked to him. But I've watched Motor Week a little bit. I really have a trouble watching other people's channels and other programs. I shouldn't, but I just do. Why would a car designer if you don't? Why would you be a car designer if you don't like cars? Cars, not car designers. I'm talking marketing people, accountants, that kind of stuff. Looking for a 2-inch lift for my 2019 Ford Ranger. Strut shock kit. Really? You gonna lift your Ford Ranger? Interesting. Hey, Mark. That's interesting. Is there aftermarket support for the Ford Ranger yet? I know it's new. I haven't seen anything lifted yet. People take those EPA numbers too serious. I already talked about that. We talked about that. What's better What's better to do, buy or lease? What's better, lease 1 3 years? I leased a Tundra and sold it after 2 and made $5,000. No problem with that. There's a lot of argument there. Buying is great if you plan on keeping it more than 5 years. The average person keeps their pickup about 5 years. Leasing is great if you do over 3 years, which that's more like average. Average ownership on like a sedan is like 2.5 3 years, something like that. So I know there's people that buck the system either way, but that's about it. What about 2015 F-150 fuel economy? Why only lost it in newest years? That's a great question, 67 Sport Wagon. I've asked that question as well. I think that lawsuit's going to keep getting expanded and expanded and expanded. Because you got Explorer, you got Expedition, you got Navigator, you got 2015 F-150. Whew, it's going to be crazy. Easy fix, get rid of APA. Right. Old Man's 2019 F-150 gets 16 something. Yeah, it's not great. Or you change your oil if it's been a while. It normally gets you a mile or 5. If it's been a long time. Yeah. Coyote has an oil consumption problem. They all have oil consumption problems. Even met Swede. Swede goes through a quart of oil every 150 miles. Surprised Ford hasn't gotten to something like Volkswagen did a few years ago. That's coming. I'm telling you, this lawsuit's going to be huge, guys. Stay with the Ecos and the V8s because of all the issues. Got the 3.3 V6 instead. Oh, that's the base engine. Huh. Usually saw the Tesla slowly taking over. Later, Elliot. Is Tesla slowly taking over the car sales? No, I don't think they are. I think it's... they just posted another decrease, right? So they're trying to be profitable in the fourth quarter this year? Something like that? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. Huh. Yeah, I got all sorts of bad... I got bad Livestream. Bad Livestream. Video resolution's bad. That's interesting. Oh, yeah. So 35 at once... 45, 7 minutes. Well, okay. Oh, phew. I have caught up. I hope they fix the oil problem with the new 2021 Ford F-150. Everybody's got an oil problem. The GM's had oil problems for years with the active fuel management. I mean, I asked our engineers about that oil consumption, and he got pissed. That didn't make it on the video. Yeah, there's mods out there for new Ranger already. Really? Do you like new Ranger looks, or did you expect more? Are they still coming out with new Raptor Ranger? I thought the Ranger was okay. It wasn't exciting. I thought it was okay. I think they've done a good job on pieces of it, but it's definitely not something revolutionary. And my video on that did exceptionally well. Have you guys seen that 5 things I like and 5 things I don't like, or something like that? Man, it did amazing, which is awesome. Kudos. So I think it did. I think it was interesting. So I had a dislike about the Ranger. Who is it? Wait a minute. EJM has it. EJM Demon. Bear with me for a minute. Listen to this, and let me know if you have the same issue I had. So one of my issues with the Ranger is it's a $35,000 to $40,000 pickup, and the Lariat trim I had, and there was no dampener on the tailgate. Wait a second. Slow down. Keyboard warrior, slow down. What I mean by that is when you open a tailgate, it slams down. And what I said was in that price range, I expect a dampened tailgate. So when you lowered it down, it would lower down nicely. When it slammed down, when it jar your hands, when it hit your legs, anything you have in the way, and you could get stuff out of the way. And if you had like things in there, it would actually slow down with the things and lower it down. And I did something the other day that I don't regularly do. I watched my friend Sophian. Sophian Bay is with the Redline Reviews, and I watched one of his videos. I don't really watch other people's YouTube videos very often, and I thought, well, I should watch more. So I watched his video on the Ford Ranger. because I thought I reviewed the Ford Ranger. I'm curious what his thoughts are. And his video was a little different. My video, it was good because our differences really showed. But he did bring up the fact that the tailgate didn't dampen. And he did this because he had some furniture he's returning back to the store and had these boxes over the back of the pickup because it's a 5-foot box. I mean, over the back of the pickup, this was on top of the tailgate was these boxes. And when he lowered the tailgate, he said he almost broke his thumb. And so it's interesting that him and I both had the same comment on that truck. And so, Demon, sound off. It's probably not you've bought one. You own one. That's fine. And that's great choice. No argument there. Great choice. But let me know, was I off base on that? Because I'm looking at his thoughts, and I thought, my goodness, if him and I are on the same page with this, and I just thought for a $40,000 pickup to add that dampener system, it can't be that expensive to add that in there. I thought it was a true miss. In California, we see more and more Model 3s. I saw a bunch of them. I was driving to Omaha and back, and I saw truckloads of these damn things. It's interesting. I don't know who's buying all this stuff. I told my mom not to buy the new 2020 Explorer because of the carbon monoxide problem. I don't trust this car. It looks beautiful, though. Really? Carbon monoxide problem. I want a crew cab tender with at least a 6.5-foot bed. Yeah, keep dreaming. That's a long truck. And the problem is the factory line speed. It's tough to build a truck that long inside of a factory. The Whipple Supercharged F-150, 725 horsepower. Yeah, Model 3 Tesla looks really good. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Wish they made Harley Davidson F-150 and F-250. I'd buy that in a heartbeat, not the Tuscany crap. Oh. I was like, they make one. But yeah, it's always going to be Tuscany. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Johnny5, giving me the love on subscribe notifications. True tailgate so slams down, but it's very light since they're aluminum. So we agree. It's not like it's a deal breaker, but it's surprising. That's me, I think. It's surprising to me that they didn't do more with that to make it not do that. I don't know. It rubs you the wrong way. It's like little details they could have done to make that truck that much bigger, better. Yeah, they should have you give me a work truck variant, tailgate slams. Okay, I'm fine with that. Tailgate, it's cheap price. Whatever. Work truck. You give me the Lariat trim. I kind of expect more. So I did think it was interesting that I had, and I guess I do watch more. And I think I watched quite a bit of TFL. I tried to watch. Have you guys ever watched Doug DeMuro? I tried to watch Doug the other day. He had a Ford GT, which I actually don't know much about, and so I watched him to learn more about this. And I remember Roman from TFL talked about this, where Doug's voice, it's nothing personal, Doug. It just grates on you after a while. And I was watching his video, and I had to stop it at some point because it just grated at me. It just ate, like it just under my skin, and just it drove me nuts. And I couldn't handle it. And so Doug was a guy I actually had to turn off because I couldn't listen to him anymore. It was going on and on and on and on and on. And then, my friend Sophian had this thing come up, and that was the thing with the Ford Ranger. He wore a pair of shorts on this video that he did, and I didn't care much. I don't care. And he had people comment about his dress attire. And somebody said that, Doug DeMuro dresses like a bum and has this great big channel. And so I watched that Doug video, and looked at some of his thumbnails. And for a guy, like, Doug's got to make on YouTube, he's got to make $1 million a year or something like that. I mean, it's got to be an extensive amount of money if he really played up the numbers. And so for a guy to dress that way with that much money, and then what I understand with Doug is, why does he do the Auto Trader column if he's doing his videos making that much money? I can tell you what, folks. If I was making Doug DeMuro money, I'd just have my YouTube and I'd be elsewhere. So I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was interesting points. I love the Doug DeMuro rant. Now, is that on the end when he does his Doug score? Is that the deal, Dale? I gotta watch the end of that because I don't know. I can only hear Quirk so many times. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Model 3 must be selling good for Tesla. I think the fact that they make nice. are people buying it for portable? You know, what's interesting though on Junior on the Model 3 is how much Tesla is not posting a profit. Makes me really wonder if they're able to sell that car for a profit when they're taking the shorts. I like TFL Truck. I've traveled with TFL Truck's team many times. We've had drinks many times. Great time. I have enjoyed those guys. I appreciate what they do. I think I do something different than TFL Truck. I think that I provide a little bit different take on the truck market than they do, and I wouldn't do some of the stuff they do, and they wouldn't do some stuff I do. And so I think it's great. I think we can work well in the same space and not be competitive. And so they have a really good stick with the Ike Gauntlet. They have the Goldmine Hill. They have the things that people know about from them, and they've done a great job of that. And I need to develop my own sticks because it seems like that works. I bought the Ranger for my wife since she always wanted a small truck. I drive a 08 F-150 XLT Triton. Oh. I applaud you. I want my wife to buy a pickup, and I can't get her to. I love your rant on his voice. Oh. Yeah, it grates on me. I don't like Doug's score. I don't care for it. Yeah. No, his voice just drives me nuts. It reminds me of a really bad PBS show. It just drives me nuts. What do you think about Car Wow? I don't know the Car Wow channel. I'm trying to watch more. I am trying to actively be more involved in YouTube sphere or atmosphere. I'm trying to watch more of these channels. There are a lot of car channels out there. I've actually been watching a lot of golf vlogging channels, and golf vlogging channels are terribly boring. And so I thought about creating one, but I'm too fat and my swing looks terrible. So that's what I've learned. But today, actually, in fact, the vlogging channels out there. I don't know how you guys watch this. I'm gonna say, I don't know how you guys watch all this stuff. I don't understand this. I just the stuff you guys watch on this YouTube just drives me crazy. Scotty Kilmer, my God, that guy doesn't know anything. He drives me up a wall every time I watch some of his stuff. And I actively try to watch Scotty Kilmer, and just grates at me. He doesn't know. All his knowledge is based on the 1980s. It hasn't changed. It's like talking to your friend's friend neighbor who's bitter that Bush won, or the I don't know, Reagan left office. I just the guy just crazy. What about Edmund's Car Channel? I know Dan Edmonds pretty well. Him and I hang out quite a bit. He's been on some podcasts I've done, and Dan's a good guy. And Dan has a lot of knowledge base because of his work at Toyota, and that it's hard to replace in the journalism field, and he really understands it. Kudos to Dan. I watch Straight Pipes every once in a while. Straight Pipes are fun. They do the thing with the visor. It's kind of fun. I try to watch them. House Throttle is very good. Yeah. Small trucks are. I'm gonna have to check that. I haven't House Throttle. I haven't done that. Small trucks are gonna have to have the same problem they had in the past. The cost for what you want, the value isn't there. For a little more money, you can get a full size truck. Yeah, that's what happened with the Ranger. That's what happens to other things. I don't know. It's interesting. I think that the small or mid-sized truck market is a different consumer though than full-size truck market. Kelly Blue Book and Roadshow it is very good. Yeah, I watched Emmy Hall. Emmy Hall with Roadshow and I are really good friends. I watch Roadshow when I can. Really, really good production values. I drink up chairs. Scotty Comedy is probably rich like he is. Scotty Kilmer has a lot of money, and he hasn't changed his opinions. And his videos now are just based on people's comments. That's what he's doing. Scotty Comedy is probably All right, that is it. Coming to an end. We've been an hour. That's all I got time for you. My drink is about empty. Questions, comments, concerns. Tim at pickuptrucktalk.com. I got shirts out there. I got hats. Everything you need, you can buy. It's there. Trust me. I think it's there. I believe I checked. What's coming up? Ram Drive, GMC Sierra Heavy Duty Drive, Nissan Armada arrives tomorrow. Mazda CX-5 with a new package arrives this weekend. This Friday, you'll see a VW. You'll see a couple car things. Lexus ES 350, I have to get out. VW GLI, I have to get out. Those 2 reviews. And whatever news comes up. I don't know what news can come up. Every week is different. Every week is fun. We'll see you out there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road. Boom.